then this place is not for you. Also, if you have an alternative lifestyle, this place is not for you because the people are going to look at you weird and you're not going to feel comfortable. Because right now, to me, it seems obvious they're pushing an agenda.
Sure.
And it's a lot of...
Can Tatiana come to the beach in Dar es Salaam and wear the thong of the booty crack? Is that going to get her negative attention? How will that be received?
So Tatiana does that. She goes to the beach, you know, the provocative bikini or whatever. People are going to ask her, Shingapi, how much? Because they want to know how much it is, you know.
Focus, man.
Yo, what's happening, guys? Once again, this is your guy, Jay Focus, reminding you to stay focused. And I'm here with my guest again, Traveling Tony, Tanzania's one and only. I'm busting rhymes out here. I wasn't even planning that, guys. That was off the top. Tanzania Tony, Tanzania's one and only, Traveling Tony. Anyway, guys, if you haven't been watching the channel, his background is he is a Black American who's been living here in Tanzania full time. He's not a tourist, guys. So he has a whole different perspective than someone who's just coming in and out of the continent, right? So I wanted to ask you, since you know a lot, we talked in the past about the kind of people who would enjoy Tanzania. We talked about the positives. Now we're getting into the dirt because we got to do the other side. Who are the people who should not come here? Who would not like Tanzania? Who should avoid it? And also, what are some of the challenges here? Because if we're keeping it 100, I don't care where you go in the world, there are always going to be challenges, especially when you are not native to that environment. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Oh, yes. Oh, great question, by the way, brother. I would say the people who aren't going to like Tanzania are going to be the more liberal-minded people. If you're more used to, let's say, a Rio de Janeiro way of life, where people dress freely, liberally, you know, boobs out, whatever, you know, inappropriately. Yeah, just inappropriately.
So hit that like button. I'm putting in work out here. I swear to y'all, I'm putting in work.
Or liberally appropriate, right? Because I don't want to say inappropriate, but by conservative standards, inappropriately dressed, then this place is not for you. Also, if you have an alternative lifestyle, this place is not for you because the people are going to look at you weird and you're not going to feel comfortable. So you might want to consider those things before you come here. You might want to go to a more liberal place. Things you may not like about Tanzania, the dirt roads, the development. Some people may think people move too slowly. So you might want to consider all those things. If you're used to more of a developed nation kind of way of life, then here's going to be very different.
Okay. So you said a lot there, so I just want to break it down a little bit. So when you said dirt roads, how many dirt roads are there so people, you know, can have an idea?
I would say expect dirt roads as the norm for when you're, you know, living your life. Well, on vacation, you don't have to worry about it too much, right? When you're on vacation, you're staying in Masaki, whatever. But if you're going to live here or have an extended stay here, then you'll be utilizing dirt roads more.
Okay. All right. And can you speak to a little bit about like the more liberal folks who wouldn't feel at home here?
Okay. So if you are the type of person that likes to have your body exposed, or you don't want to wear underwear. Some guys don't like to wear underwear. And it's not just for women, this is men too, right? Some guys don't like to wear underwear. Now, without you wearing underwear, people will look at your groin area and see the outline of your package or whatever.
Or your V. Huh?
Yeah, or your V, and they'll be eyeing it. So not in the sense of they want it, but they're just not used to seeing.
Shocking.
Yeah, so shocking, and it throws them off.
And so let's say my name is Tatiana, right?
Okay.
I've never been to Africa. Oh my God, girl, I'm going there to the motherland. I want to see Kunta Kinte. All right, whatever. Just somebody who's not educated on Africa. Can Tatiana come to the beach in Dar es Salaam and wear the thong of the booty crack? Is that going to get her negative attention? How will that be received?
So Tatiana does that. She goes to the beach, you know, the provocative bikini or whatever. People are going to ask her, Shingapi, how much? Because they want to know how much it is, you know, and that's it. That'll be the welcome she gets, and it will be repetitive. It won't just be one guy. Multiple guys will be like, since you're advertising it, how much is it for this product?
Yeah. You know, that reminds me, just the way you broke it down, of something Dave Chappelle said in one of his early shows. He was like, you know, just because you're dressed that way does not mean someone has the right to treat you that way. You may not be a whore, but you sure enough are wearing a whore's uniform.
That's true. That's true.
It would be like running up to a police officer and he says, "Oh my God, just because I'm dressed like this, you think I'm a police officer?" That's what Dave said. He did it funnier than me, but y'all get the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, this is a conservative country. The women that dress provocatively like that, it's usually for sale, so they understand that. It's kind of like black and white with that type of stuff. So for the people coming from a liberal place where they say, I dress like this for me, well, if you do that here, you're dressing that way for male attention. So you should understand that.
Good to know. Yeah, because that way people know what they're getting into before they come. If they want it, they can sign up for that. If not, they can mosey on along. You know what I mean? That's one of the great things that I've discovered in Africa is that the continent has something for everyone, 54 countries. If you cannot find a fit in 54 countries, you gotta look in the mirror. Because, I mean, this is planet Earth, man. This is what you got. Anything else that you want to add? Or if you have any questions for me too?
Okay, so where would you suggest on the continent for someone liberal-minded?
That's an easy one, man.
It's easy.
Big country at the bottom of the map, South Africa. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hating comments. This guy said this about South Africa, but hold up, you guys love the fact that you're liberal, right? So I'm just saying what you guys know that you are. So if you want a really liberal country, South Africa is that 100%. If you think that you're going to miss the U.S. way of life, South Africa will make you feel right at home. So that's an option for the people who Tanzania, they're put off with some of the things that my guy Traveling Tony has said.
Yeah, and if you're alternative lifestyle, South Africa accepts that, and there's no issues. You can enjoy it. You know, you can be open with it. You don't have to hide who you are. And I'm all about being who you are. So by us giving you this information, we're just telling you where you could go to be yourself. There's no hate involved. Do you have any hate?
Yeah. Why would you not want to live somewhere that's not going to accommodate your needs, your wishes, your goals? So that's a place that will accommodate those type of things more than anywhere else on the continent, by far.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to key on that. Like, I really think it's necessary because people misconstrue us just delivering information as hate or bias or nothing like that. No, we're just, he's been everywhere on the continent. He's able to tell you what you would like based off of your needs. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why moving around is so important because, okay, you need an alternative lifestyle place. Boom, go here. Exactly. Don't go here. Don't go there. Don't go here.
Yeah, you got your kids. You're looking for XYZ, certain level of schooling or certain environment, security. Then there's certain places that are going to be better for your unique situation because we're not all the same. In the States, more often than not, due to the legacy of racism and other factors, socioeconomic factors, we are sometimes grouped with people who they don't have the same values as us or the same long-term goals, and that's not necessarily ideal. But when you're looking to start again somewhere different, you have the benefit of having time, of being able to strategize, and not just being lumped in where you're at, but actively selecting where you want to be, and that's power. And I think there's nothing but positivity behind that and that message.
I agree. And you hear these stories about, people who may have these beliefs or those beliefs going to a place that isn't receptive of those beliefs and them having a horrible time. Maybe police being called. It's just an embarrassing situation. They're recording how the people are treating them. Why not avoid that? If we could tell you, if you go there acting like this is going to happen to you. So you can avoid all that negativity and go to some place where you'll be treated like you should, right?
Exactly.
I think people should vote for who adheres to their lifestyle, their family needs, and all that stuff, right? So personally, Kamala, just because of her party, isn't best for me and what I need, right? So the conservative side is better for what I need, right? I live in a conservative country. But I'm not saying she's a bad person or whatever, it's just she's not for me. I don't agree with her policies from her, well, not specifically her policies, her party's policies. So I mean, there's a lot of liberals that don't agree with what's going on and stuff like that now. So if you don't agree, then maybe you want to sit this election out. I heard a lot of people talk about sitting it out because they don't agree with Donald Trump or her. So that's also an option. But if there was a female I would vote for, 100% it'll be Candace Owens. 100% Candace Owens. I think she should have ran instead of Kamala.
Candace. Okay, that's an interesting way to look at that. Me?
Okay.
The same question or anything?
Yeah. So how do you feel about Kamala?
Wow. So I have a pretty good track record for the last 8 presidential elections. Not 8. I'm not that old. But for the last, let's say 4 or 5 presidential elections that I was able to accurately predict who the winner was.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I have receipts from almost every year of like text messages and stuff of me calling it months and months ahead of time.
Okay.
Sometimes a year out, you know what I'm saying? I'm that plugged into it. That being said, I said probably a month or 2 before, you know, the attempt on one of the candidates, before that happened, I had said that, you know, this year is different than any other year. And I said, it's a wild card. I cannot predict this one. Okay. And like I said, and this is with me having a track record of always being able to predict it. I said that before there was an attempt on this guy's life. I said this before we got a new nominee, because I knew this was unlike any other year and any early prediction would not be wise. So I was smart enough to not go ahead and throw my 2 cents in. If this is a fair election, I know who's going to win. Okay. If this is a less than fair election, then I also know who's going to win. So there's different ways you can break it down. Are we going to talk popular vote? Are we going to talk electoral college? I think that the popular vote is going to be extremely close. I think it could go to Harris. It could. I'm not saying, that's not me saying it will. It could go to Harris, but I do not believe that she's going to win the election. Okay? And you can take from that whatever you want. I am not loyal to either party. You know, I'm fully nonpartisan, and that's been me consistently. As long as I was informed of the process, you know, because when you're a kid, you don't know anything, right? But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a wild ride. I will say, if you are in the States and you are of our complexion and you are in a neighborhood where the majority is not of your complexion, it might be a good day to take a vacation. That's just how I'm looking at it. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Leave me a comment after it happens. If I'm wrong, hey, I'm willing to say I was wrong, but if I'm right, you're going to wish you listened to me.
I agree with that.
Put it like that.
I agree with that.
And that's the advice I'm giving to my loved ones.
Can't get better advice than that, man.
Yep.
No, I agree with you. I agree if it's a fair election, I'm gonna say I think Trump is gonna win. But if it's less than fair, then Kamala's gonna win.
Sure.
Because right now, to me, it seems obvious they're pushing an agenda.
Sure.
And it's a lot of distractions, like the gender war. That's all distraction. It's not really a gender war. Men and women, we can't fight each other. We're supposed to come together and make children. So I don't believe in the gender war. I'm sure you have similar beliefs.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're against the gender war. So that's just all distraction. People just have to be able to look past that and see what really matters. Food on the table for your family, money in your pockets. Focus on that. That's my beliefs anyway.
Yeah. And I think it's worth saying that the stakes for this election are higher than ever now. They say this every 4 years, but it's definitely true this time, and I'll tell you why this is unlike any other time, for several reasons, but I'll give you the most glaring reason, right? If Donald loses, he's going to jail. Like, it's not even a maybe. So he's literally fighting for his life on some level. I mean, if Kamala loses, then she just loses. If Trump loses, he's going to jail, and his party is going to see through the BS, and I don't think they're going to just sit back and just say, "Oh, well, we'll get him in 4 years." I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I think the reason, this is just my opinion, I think the reason they wanted Trump out of there is because he's going to repeal a lot of the stuff the Democrats put in office. Well, put into play a lot of the laws. He's going to repeal. We're not going to get specific about it, but he's going to attempt to repeal a lot of those laws, and it's going to piss people off.
Due to the 2020 events that happened, he was one of, let's say, 4 or 5 world leaders who just said, we're not going to play that game. And if you notice, almost every world leader who said they weren't going to play that game, they've been sat down. They put them in timeout. One of them was the leader of this nation.
Yeah, you could.
He's out. They got him up out of here. There was the president of Brazil. They got him up out of here. They tried to put him in jail. He might even be in jail by the time you guys are listening to this. And this is across the board. Now, they use different methods depending on the country, but it's quite a coincidence that all the people who kind of said, no, we want to do our own thing, you know, we're our own country, I'm the elected leader, they got him up out of there, you know, by hook or by crook. So.
And I want to say this as a disclaimer too, just in case this goes viral.
Sure.
Our opinions are not that of radicalists that want any government to be destroyed in the West or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We're just talking about things we may have noticed or may have seen, but we're not actively doing it. This is just conversation, that's all.
Sure, yeah. These are just coincidences that seem interesting.
That seem interesting to us. We have no dog in any of these fights.
Exactly. I don't think anyone thinks we do, but yeah, you want to clarify for sure. I am not suicidal.
You know, I got Dr. Sebi about that too.
You remember what's that guy's name? Juicy Smollett.
Oh yeah,
like I'm not suicidal. He kept saying,
I want no smoke.
No smoke.
No smoke.
There's a smoke-free zone.
Yeah, man. But that's all.
Do you have any stories of things that you learned from Tanzanians, or like this situation happened and because of this, a Tanzanian helped me out? Anything similar to that?
Okay, I'll give you guys this. And I want to say this for like East Africans, but in Tanzania in particular, emotional intelligence. I used to get mad and want to react and stuff like that, but I was humbled by some Tanzanians who just simply told me to take a second and think about the situation, assess everything. And ever since then, that's just been my standard of living. So people come to these countries and think we can't learn from the locals. If you come with that mindset, you don't need to be in any other country. If you think you're above everyone in the country, you don't need to be in the country because you're so great. You know, if you can't be humble and learn, then you don't need to come to any country. You think you're better than everyone in.
Sure.
So that's what I wanted to throw out.
That's a very good point. How has it been for you learning the language? Because you guys didn't see it on camera, well, not on my video. But he was spitting a couple bars in Swahili, man. He's humble with it, but he's definitely making progress in the language. I can gauge that much.
My progress is slow. I've been here almost 3 years. People are like, you still don't speak Swahili? Because, you know, it's their country. So obviously it behooves you to learn the local language of wherever you're living. It's just I had learned Spanish and Portuguese prior, so I'm a little slow on the uptake. But yes, I have made some improvements, but I can always be way better. Obviously, we are our own biggest critics.
Sure.
But I've been lazy on that front.
Yeah, and I had heard it before I came here that they really want you to speak Swahili here. And I thought it was a little exaggerated because I heard Mark Beats Africa say it. I heard several other content creators out here say that. And I was like, really? I was like, because I haven't really experienced that in other East African countries. Like, you know, when you're in Ethiopia, nobody's like, you don't know Amharic? Like, that will never happen. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, maybe just because they think you're from there, right. You know, depending how you look. Like, sometimes they'll be shocked because they think I'm one of them, but when they realize I'm not, they don't expect me to learn it. They're not like, well, start learning it. You know, they don't have that type of energy. Same thing in Rwanda, same thing in Nairobi. You know, nobody's like, you don't speak Swahili, like surprised or anything like that. But here, yes, they really are surprised you don't know Swahili. I don't know if it's different if you're white. I'm not white, so I can't really speak on that. But for sure, if you look like you're from the continent, they are going to want you to speak Swahili as much as you possibly can. Now, they're still going to help you out, at least in my experience, but they're going to respect you a lot more if you do attempt it.
The white boys be killing the Swahili. I'm not even gonna lie. Like they be killing.
They live here though. They're not.
Yeah, a lot of times they
coming
be
through for a minute.
But they be like, they make me feel bad. I be like, damn, white boy cold.
It's funny how that works. Like when somebody who's an opposite race learns the local language. Because like when I'm in Spanish-speaking countries, I'll be with white boys. I'll be with even American Latinos, and I speak Spanish better than them. And they'll be looking at me like, damn, like now you're making me look bad.
They feel bad.
You know what I'm saying? So I get how that works, and I've gotten to experience that as well. But you know, y'all got to give me time. Swahili was not built in one day, man.
I mean, you've been to so many places too. We are Afrikaans next, like Zulu.
Y'all already know, man. If y'all been watching the channel, I've got videos where you'll hear me attempt to speak French. You'll hear me attempt to speak Portuguese. You'll hear me speak Spanish because I feel confident with my Spanish. But yeah, I can't learn every language, guys. I don't have all the time in the world. I try to learn the numbers in most countries if I'm going to be there for a couple weeks. If it's just a very short trip, then I don't even attempt it. You got to understand, there's only so many languages, so much time in the world, and for me personally, if I'm not going to live in a country, live in a culture, then it doesn't really make sense for me to devote a whole lot of time to learning a local language, especially if it's not a widespread language. But that being said, you move here, learn some Swahili. You will thank me later.
Definitely.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching. If you guys made it this far, if it's too much political talk and y'all like, man, I just want to hear about the women and the travel, Jay, this is not your lane. Let me know below. If you want to hear more of that stuff, y'all want to see me on the FBI watch list, CIA watch list, and yeah, tell me that too. So yeah, I mean, be a revolutionary for us. We're not going to support you when you get locked, but we'll enjoy it. We'll like it. You guys gonna like me out of jail one of these days. All right, man. Anything?
No, just hit the super thanks for my boy, man. Anything you can do, man. This is me saying, obviously.
Yeah. All right, guys. Until next time.
Such thing as a life that's better than y'all.
Focus, man.